The first thing I recommend to anyone who wants to learn or improve as an SAP functional consultant is to set a clear objective process to execute in SAP S/4HANA. For me, for example, the first objective is always to execute a full procure-to-pay process. I'm talking about a simple purchasing process starting from the purchase order, goods receipt, and invoice receipt. And I recommend this to anyone regardless of the functional module you want to specialize in. So whether you'd like to become a finance consultant, material management, sales and distribution, production planning, plant maintenance, any module, you need to set a clear objective process to execute in the system. Once you set up this objective, then you will have a clear learning path to learn the configuration and the process execution in SAP. Let's take the procure to pay process as an example. In order to be able to execute all the steps and get to the invoice receipt, you will have to configure everything behind this process. And the purchasing or the procure to pay process is one of the most simple processes. I'm talking about the simple variant where we only buy a trading material, in goods receipt, post a goods receipt, and then an invoice. It's one of the easiest processes you can learn and you can execute in the system. So in order to be able to do this, you'll have to configure everything that's behind. So the company code, purchasing organization, plant, storage location, any other configuration objects. And then you have to also maintain the master data, supplier master data, materials, general ledger accounts. So by the time you end this process and you post the invoice receipt, the last step, you would have learned very well how to configure the different organizational objects, how to maintain the different master data objects that are related to this process. And this will give you a clear idea on how SAP S/4HANA works. Because once you are able to execute one process end to end, you will be able to understand how things are connected, how the different modules are integrated, how the finance is integrated in everything, and you will be able to use your own justification after this to learn any other process that you have not seen before.